Hi everyone, welcome back. As always, thank you for being here. Quick apology. I am going to repost the links to my new products on Spring later today or tomorrow because I made a boo-boo with the previous links. There are currently 3 mugs, one commemorating the Queen, another showing Catherine, and another with Charlotte. I went over my daily posting limit and have to relist my Prince Philip mug and the baby Louis mug. George and William are nearly done, and then I may do a Charles and Camilla. We'll call it the first, the second, and the third edition of the Royal Family mugs. Hopefully, some of you will collect a few of your royal favorites. Anyway, I'm not Meghan Markle Mach 2 and I hate advertising and merching my own work. So let's move on to our royal family and some royal news. I watched a number of clips of Charles and Camilla visiting the Macmillan Cancer Centre at the University College Hospital, where at the same time it was announced that the King was now also the new patron of Cancer Research UK. Now, because of some of the reactions I get when I dare mention the King's name, I am not going to talk about what my learned friend said she observed medically. Both of us tried, obviously, to see whether the blue or purple tinge is still in the King's face, but filming was done in such a way that the King's left side was mostly turned away. It also appeared that the King had a little base and powder on his face, as even his usual blush was not visible. Instead, his skin and colouring was indeed very even. My medical expert friend said that regardless of the light cover-up, the King was visibly pale when they left the centre. I had more questions and she had more answers, but we'll go into that some other day when I'm strong enough to take the backlash. William indeed had a few events scheduled and on a bit of a walkabout spoke to 2 ladies, and the one inquired about Catherine and the family, and he said they were all doing well. So I indeed hope that it is true. I miss Catherine. She's like a breath of fresh air, the one who takes the sting out of the tail of the monarchy. Anyway, with the King up and about, not healthy, but on his feet, I think we need to restart our quest to get through to the King and have Harry's titles stripped or put in abeyance. Harry and Meghan's conduct and their lack of self-discipline, class, and their hundreds of lies are really leaving a huge stain on the monarchy and Charles III's reign. But although this was a very long intro, none of this was what I really wanted to talk to you about today. I was actually waiting for a bit of a lull in the news to talk to you about the bullying allegations. And let's be fair, from the get-go, although allegations were mostly against Meghan, it often included or were made against Harry as well. And let's be even more just and honest, and let's say that neither Harry nor Meghan were any different or much different before they met and married. We just did not know about it because Harry's conduct was covered up and Meghan wasn't at all that famous. So before we even start with their conduct as a couple in the royal family, let's look at a couple of examples of their previous conduct, proof, receipts, as you call it. So here is one for Harry from his time in the military. It reads, I was at Camp Bastion when he, Harry, was there and can confirm that the majority of the guys stationed there, both American and British, did not like him. Not sure if it was his arrogant ego or the media broadcasts, making our base a bigger target. But we, the ladies, were told to avoid him for our own sakes. And another, a relative of mine was at the same camp on Hazza's first visit to Afghanistan. Hazza was told to wear a high-vis jacket, which is a high visibility jacket, to easily identify him in case of attack. But he couldn't be bothered to wear it most days, despite being ordered to do so. He did nothing but moan, which infuriated the other guys. Okay, but even outside of the military, before and after the military, Harry displayed spoiled, entitled, sometimes angry, and sometimes downright horrible behavior. In 2002, the Daily Mail reported on a holiday Harry had in Cornwall 2 years earlier, and here is a quote from that time. The red-headed teen threw bottles and drunkenly abused teenage girls. And another quote from a girl who was actually there. Harry was sitting on a wall outside a pub. In between throwing cider bottles, he was vomiting behind the wall. He's one of the most revolting people I've ever met. Then there was an incident when he was actually barred from a pub due to his behavior. Yeah, imagine being a royal but being barred from a pub, the Rattlebone Inn. Well, my dears, that should tell you something. Harry speaks very little about his protection officers in his book, but when he did, it was a quick mention or a positive mention. Yet, that is not how it always was. Protection officers had to deal with an often abusive prince. Remember how Harry wrote about one of the matrons at Ludgrove? Pat wasn't hot. Pat was cold. Pat was small, mousy, frazzled, etc., etc. And as if that's not enough, he went on, talking about her knees and spine. The latter was crooked, the former chronically stiff. According to Harry, he was the most enthusiastic in making faces and mocking her. I mean, there is so much more, my friends, from his youngest years until present day. And why? One reason and one reason only. There were never any repercussions for Harry's bad behavior. Diana felt sorry for him being the spare and coddled him. And Charles, well, he could not be bothered. He was too busy and too distracted. Meghan basically walked the same path. She just had far less money and opportunities and wasn't in the spotlight. In Samantha's book, there's an incident where Samantha and Meghan were told to choose a Christmas gift each from a catalogue. And Sam pointed out a ring to Meghan, and Meghan blew a gasket. Although Samantha meant it as a suggestion for Meghan, Meghan thought Samantha wanted it for herself, and obviously she did not want Samantha to have something so pretty and so nice. Sam was surprised at Meghan's reaction, but did and said nothing, not wanting to trigger a worse tantrum, basically. Another example was when Meghan just went ahead and claimed Samantha's snow globes as her own. When Samantha came back and saw it, she said nothing. And why? Because she knew Meghan would cry or throw a tantrum, and Daddy would likely come up for Meghan anyway. So there you have it. No accountability from an early age, because she was the youngest and because Mr. Markle was overcompensating for the fact that her mother was not around much, and for his own behaviors and weaknesses. Meghan's behaviors continued through school, even high school. throwing a tantrum because she did not get the role she wanted, and then throwing another tantrum because her father would not withdraw from the production just because she did not get the role. In college, it was underage drinking and fake IDs and daddy buying her out of other trouble, including a hazing incident and a traffic stop incident. Then she went off to Argentina, which Daddy paid for as well. But she did not bother to pass her junior diploma exam, and God alone knows what else she got up to. There is a lot of gossip about those couple of weeks. But never mind, because she did not pass her junior diplomat exams, she left Argentina after about 6 weeks, not 6 months, like she said. But what did Daddy do then? Well, he paid for her to go to Spain. No accountability, none. Mr. Markle and King Charles have more in common than they may think. As she got older, Meghan got even worse, but at least she experienced a bit of rejection when she did not get the roles she auditioned for. But then came Suits, the validation she needed, and it opened doors for her which she could not get through previously. And regardless of being number 6 on the call sheet, Meghan instantaneously developed a diva attitude. Early on in the marriage, her co-actors, the stars, the actual stars of the show, were very complimentary about Meghan. But after a bit of time, it came out that all was not as rosy and great on set as was portrayed, and Meghan was not always as cute, kind, and sweet as was portrayed up and until the marriage or the wedding. We had previously spoken about Meghan's behavior at photo shoots, leaving an assistant near a nervous breakdown once, and we have spoken about her walking out with an expensive pair of Aquazzura shoes after another shoot. We have all seen posts from people who ran into her over, say, 10 years, the last 10 years or so, and we're talking about waitresses, dressers, hairdressers, technicians, photographer assistants, stylists, etc., etc. And we heard and read how nasty and entitled she could be. And you think her lie about being 43% Nigerian is the first time she lied about her heritage to gain attention and other benefits? No, it's not. Remember when she scored a trip to Malta to go research her Maltese ancestry, even dressing up for a photo shoot in traditional clothing. But then it turned out it was all a lie. Meghan was fully aware that her great-grandmother was actually Irish and that she lived in Malta only for a short while because Meghan's father told her about this ancestor of hers. But who cares? Meghan scored a trip. She did not care whether the magazine got the article they wanted or not. None of her business. She didn't care as long as she got what she wanted. So, with all of that now said and done, it is not strange or weird that at the end of the day, when Harry and Meghan got together, it was like the perfect storm. Why does anyone still doubt that Meghan, with Harry's help and support, bullied staff? One can almost say, of course she did. One can almost say, what else would one expect? I heard one of my favourite royal reporters, Michael Cole, say the other day that it could also be due to a cultural difference. No, sir, it is not because of a cultural difference. It has nothing to do with culture. This is a woman who is uncouth, no manners, with an inflated ego, rampant narcissism, supported by a nasty, jealous, immature, entitled man-child as a husband. So at the end of the day, who is to blame? Yes, their parents to a degree, but most of us grow out of our icky, childish behaviors very quickly when we enter the real world. We are not princesses and princes, and we have to adapt or die. They did not have to. Harry still had the royal family, the Queen, his father, and a slew of servants and protection officers to cover up his messes. And Meghan had Daddy to pay to cover up hers. And then Daddy was replaced by a string of other men. Some she married, others she just slept with. Okay, guys. So when I come back, we'll talk about what actually happened at Kensington Palace and elsewhere between Meghan and her staff. So until we meet again on that one, please take good care of yourselves and each other. Bye.